Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this program. As we always try to cover what is developing around the foundation and technologies around the foundation, today we have a few, or maybe one announcement to make, and then we see how we go and the way we go. As all of you, most of you are aware, the program of tomorrow on the 16th of October with the third World Ambassador meeting is a crucial point, not only for the foundation, but a crucial point for what has been the cornerstones of human life, energy. In this presentation, we don't show anything that most of the knowledge seekers don't know about, but we open it to public in a way that humanity understands there is a huge change on the way. You got to understand one of the prime or one of the most important things is with every new change is going to be resistance. We have already seen the resistance from governments who do not want, which do not want to see this technology surfaces in the, what do you call it, on the scenery. We expect certain amount of resistance, misconduct by some people, because this is the way they confirm their existence. But on the other hand, we cannot keep 7 billion because of a few handful of people of what we call terrorists. They're embedded in different countries. We know them. We know who they are. Some of them have already opened their hands. And there is a dilemma in the background between Team Keshe Foundation. What are we going to do with the presentation tomorrow? We have a number of ambassadors. We have a number of representative embassies. NATO and EU have boycotted as usual, as we were expecting. And on the other hand, there are a number of leading agencies in energy and in space, and people from religious organizations who want to see this technology to reach their followers around the world, that we have to keep satisfied. That we can deliver a technology that helps the humanity in a secure way without being worried about a few number of terrorists. They come under different banners. There's a discussion. Are we going to announce the position of the event? Or we keep it as it is secure, that we keep 3 or 4 people from China, Belgium, and other countries to arrive, like last time, to barge in. The point is, we have made a safety security net around the presentation, as usually with these high levels. Everyone who's attending has been secured lock, which means without coded pass, you cannot get in. Are we going to allow 3 or 4 terrorists to bother us, to stop the rest of humanity to receive the knowledge and the technology, or we confront them? My idea is to confront them. We've seen them, they open different panels, different chat lines, trying to do what they wanted to do. And now we know what they're up to and what is behind it. So the point is very clear. We have set up a plan. By the end of today or sometime this morning, you decide what you want to do. Not us, because Keshe Foundation, people who come here on these lines, live stream and Zoom, we give you a voice. What you see is the right thing to do. We disclose the point of the meeting, or we announce a separate point in Rome on Saturday for people to meet. You got to realize most of the Saturday we are tied up on a back-to-back meetings for the people who attend the conference. They come from all over the world. There are dignitaries, there are members of the cabinets, there are members of parliament. There are members of different organizations who want to take technology further. So it leaves us only Saturday afternoon. As we said, we can meet, as we've done before, at the Vatican Square. Or, as we have received a collaboration from Vatican, we meet somewhere in Vatican. But that does not help us, does not bring the reality that something has to be in a correct way. Is the correct way to expose ourselves to assassination attempt by the Belgian government in that meeting, as they've done before, and we've seen their agents putting signs and websites everywhere? Or do we stand secure and carry on with the work? We discussed this just before we come on with Rick and with Vince, and we've been discussing it the past few hours and last night with different people who we take advice to. But what I said, we'll leave it to you. You decide, you coming all the way to Rome to be there, is it worth it to put everything at risk? Or do we go to the next step? And we open up, but nobody can come in. You can just come to outside the hotel. And it's all been allocated. So anybody comes, can't barge in. You can't just come in. And secondly, we have employed armed officers for protection. Italian police is aware of the danger, and the security services of Italy this time are fully armed to be facing any action. We made sure of that very clearly because of the ambassadors. So, do we let you to come to the conference outside, and do we allow you to decide the future of the technology, which is yours, not mine? To be dealt this way, it should be a point of separation, a celebration, and not separation. But we've seen how Belgian terrorist organization has infiltrated us for years, and now they're sitting there and they're giving their indication what they're up to. We're monitoring everything in the background. So we leave it to you to decide. By tonight, by this afternoon, by the end of this session, we'll make a decision. You make a decision. On the other hand, the point is, we give only 30 units tomorrow to world ambassadors and the representatives of different organizations which come, and different representatives who are flying out to different presidents around the world to take with. The reason for this is we spoke with a number of advisors in government level in different countries. They think giving the world leaders a month, 2 months, 3 months will make no difference if you give them 10 days. We've seen them with a USB stick. They sat on the key. They set their scientists to work on it in the background. And for 2 years, nothing was released. Till scientists in Taiwan, which received it from his government, released it, and we went with them. In the back of it, we released it worldwide. So what we have come with a conclusion, and it's going to be done this way, there is no alternative to it. We give the units with a blueprint to the governments on tomorrow, and we give them 10 days. They only have 10 days. If they react in 10 days to set the structure of the financial organizations, which is going with the change, is their prerogative. And if they don't do, is their problem in the time to come. So what does this mean is we have come to an agreement with a number of organizations, governments, officials, that on 26th of October, we release the first 1,000 batch. So 30 units will leave with governments, with officials, and 1,000 units will be released on 26. That's the first of 1,000 of the orders we have received. Then thereon, we release 10,000 units in the first week of November, 100,000 in the second and the third week. And then we have the facilities to produce up to 300,000 a week by the first week of December. So this raises another point. We have seen the arrogance before, and as once somebody said, why everything has to be free from Keshe Foundation and nobody puts anything in it. Unless we give them something, nobody contributes anything, and it has to be free. I was just discussing with Vince and Rick in the past couple of half an hour or so, and they say a lot of people write that they want their free unit. We decide who we give it to, not you telling us it's your right. You are used to thieving, and now you think thieving is your right to have it. The Keshe Foundation will release thousands of units in where and who we want to release it to. We ship goods from Italy around the world to the governments, to organizations which are affiliated to the Keshe Foundation, and it's our right. Anybody asks, where is my unit? Go and ask, buy it, or get it from your government. It's no one's right to tell us you have to give us. We don't have to. We are generous. We give to what we think and who we think is needy. If somebody can make a trip from halfway, God knows, around Europe to be in Rome to get a free unit, it means you have the money to pay for it too. So you're a thief by nature. So understand, no one can force us. No one can do anything to force the foundation to give units to anyone. We choose. We have started a consultation with religious groups that through their organization, we know the needy and we get to the needy. This being in Africa, this being in Asia, this being in Europe. So anyone who's asking, is my right to have a free unit? My answer to you is, think that way. It's your privilege, but it's not the reality. You live in a dream world. And if you make your way to get one free, it means you have enough money to pay for it, that the others can benefit by it. The other point is, sometime in the next 3 or 4 weeks, we set up a new way of distribution. What does this mean? It means, as you might have seen on the screen, you can ask to be a distributor for the systems. You can ask from manufacturer from the systems, or you can ask to set up Keshe Foundation in your country. Distributors, the emails will be released. The manufacturers, the same and the same. As I explained before, we will, from sometime in November, when we set up manufacturing, we do it this way. You can come up with a finance and your own designs for your country. You can raise the finance and we supply you the technology, what it means, not only the blueprint, the machinery and the systems that you only need more or less the labor force in your country to produce. The reason for this is a lot of people want to do it, but once you start thinking of a design, a lot of people don't have experience to make die cast, make machines to nano coat. All this takes time. This way, we solve the problem. Most probably, the winding of the systems which is to be produced will come from Canada. The system, I've seen the pictures, is beautiful. It needs finishing in the next few weeks. Then the casting of the systems will come from Italy initially, and then from different organizations. Because we buy bulk, we can order 30, 40 casts for different organizations. We can get a better rate that we can put on. The other option, which we have exercised in Italy, is this. The Keshe Foundation finances the totality, which means We put in the finances for all the systems. We put the finance of setting companies. We put all the finances to do everything we need to do. And in that position, we come to a very nice agreement that we finance, we take 51%, and the people in the nation at maximum 3% shareholding become the shareholders of the company in the nation. So people who set up the Keshe Foundation Manufacturing, maximum shareholding is 3%. And the way we work is that the reason we take 51%, it means we stay in control and in charge of the company. It's income that we can return the totality back to public in giving system, developing system, creating jobs. So whatever we finance, we sit in the control system like in Italy at 51%, is to control that the company cannot be sold out in the future. And secondly, as the financiers and the decision makers, we make sure everything goes through the system, that the knowledge and the technology and the institutes behind it gets developed. The ones who want to be distributors, we do the same with you. If you want to be a distributor, you go online, you register, you order numbers you need. We look at the total distribution worldwide, and for the time being in Italy, in the coming weeks, most probably in Germany, France, and UK will set up manufacturing sites. UK system is already set up. The German and the French, we are in the process of negotiation to complete, where we stay at 51% shareholding. So we own 51% share of the company as Keshe Foundation, and it allows us to dictate everything. People who come to be able to be part of it, then they have to decide. There is a big problem. Why we set our scene, our manufacturing in locations in Germany, in France, in Belgium. We won't do any investment in Italy, in England. We will finance in Holland because we are a Dutch-based organization. And we allow the immediate supporters who've been around us to run these things. So we start creating and increasing the number of people who work and live through the foundation. Then it comes a very big point. Where and how we distribute the profits which we make in a way that does not stay in one country only. Out of, let's say, 50 nations in Africa, roughly, 45% do not have the capability of manufacturing. They don't have a know-how. They've been robbed for years. They took the most strongest as a slave, then they took their wealth as stealing their mines and their natural minerals. So what we're doing is we're putting the books right. We send directly from our manufacturing distribution centers on a full transparent to African nations. We send at least 1-to-1 units to Africa till we bring Africa in a point that every African, the way as you have in Europe, has a connection to electricity and water. This is the target. We see a huge production line and we support it. So we know from this month we'll be employing 300 people in Italy because they're making the units. By January, we employ 3,000 Italians in the structure of the Keshe Foundation. We become one of the major employees in this country. But the only way we use our power is to help needy in Italy, needy in Africa, and nothing for greedy. So This is the way. If you want to be a distributor, don't come that you become a millionaire. You come to make a good life, but we allow you to distribute. We control the distribution, that for what is sold, what you sell, continuously parallel units are distributed around the world to the others which your forefathers have abused in the West. So understand, we are not giving you an energy unit. We are bringing a position that through energy, we bring most of the balance back. So if you want to be a manufacturer, you can choose. If you want to be a distributor, you can choose. Understand something very important. Last night we had a meeting with Marco, Arman, and a couple of other people here. And the problem is what and how we are allowing a system like this to come into the market so rapidly. If we do not do, then we will not be able to set this process for what is the main target at the spaceship program of the Foundation.